Hello and welcome traders and investors. It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back in the Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap. Today's a recap for Tuesday, June 22nd. And in today's video is the main topic of the day. We're going to be discussing 3D Systems and some news that came out. They entered into a co-development agreement with CollPlant. So we'll go over this and we'll look at the 3D Systems stock in detail on the chart as well. So we'll do some detailed analysis on that. But as we normally do, we'll run through some news and events on the day, and then we'll look at the broader market, and I'll put some timestamps in the description below as well. But stock was up over 30% today, so first and foremost, congrats to the bulls. And before we jump into today's content, make sure to smash like and subscribe to the channel. So the S&P 500 jumps for a second day in a row. NASDAQ hits all-time high amid Bitcoin's comeback. So Bitcoin got slaughtered today. We also had Fed Chair Jerome Powell testifying today, but there wasn't really any impact from that, so we didn't see the market react. But moving on to 3D Systems. So 3D Systems and CollPlant enter co-development agreement to deliver bioprinted solutions for improved breast reconstruction treatments. I'm not going to go over this whole article in detail, but you can check it out on your own time. But essentially, they are going to be agreeing to develop a 3D bioprinted regenerative soft tissue matrix for use in breast reconstruction procedures in combination with an implant. The soft tissue matrix is intended to support the lower portion of the breast while expanding the implant pocket and providing increased coverage of the implant. Using 3D bioprinting, these matrices can be designed to match the patient's autonomy to support the breast implant. So pretty cool. And the stock was obviously responding very well. So again, we'll look at the chart here in just a moment, but we'll run through the rest of the news on the day today. So Bitcoin turns positive on the day in a wild session where it briefly dropped below 30,000 and it got bought up pretty quickly. So showing lots of support at that level. We also got down to 10 on the extreme fear on the fear and greed index here. So buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy is generally how the saying goes. And I was buying the dip like you wouldn't believe today. Also, Biden nominee for Treasury Department will prioritize crypto regulation. And we know that Gary Gensler, the new SEC chairman, is all about regulation and said that exchanges and things like that are going to be heavily focused on and in the spotlight for regulation. So 2021, not expecting a whole lot to end the year, but I think 2022 is going to be the year of regulation. So taking a look at this article as well, what I could see turning and marking the bottom in the crypto space is this potential for the SEC to approve a Bitcoin ETF. And we have here VanEck CEO urges SEC to approve a Bitcoin ETF due to the high customer demand. And that would obviously send the price skyrocketing. We have an ETF here in Canada, but one in the United States would be huge. So Ripple's XRP will rebound because of its proving worth on several fronts. And this is an article directly from NASDAQ, one of the biggest exchanges in the world and in the US. And they're basically saying that it's looking really good in terms of the standpoint in the courts. It says they're winning in their arguments in the court, cross-border payments, remittance disruptor, and in position to rebound. So I encourage you to go check that out. It's directly from the NASDAQ, and we've been saying for a while, multiple years at this point, on how bullish we are on XRP in the long term. Also, shout out to Carter and our group for letting us know this. So this isn't a platform that I use, but I know a lot of people in our group use it and online on YouTube. So if you can find value in Wealthsimple, it's a feeless, there's no fees or anything like that. And they just added support for Dogecoin. Not that I'm advocating for Dogecoin or telling you to go buy Dogecoin, but they also have a few other ones on there. So they just had Ethereum and Bitcoin, similar to ShakePay, but now they have Dogecoin, Chainlink, Uniswap, I believe. So they have a few other DeFi tokens on there as well. So if you are interested in just diversifying a little bit and you only have access to that Wealthsimple, you now have the ability to purchase a few other tokens and coins as well. But moving on to the charts. So crypto space, nice bounce here off of that low and losing 30K support. So it looked like the world was ending there for a little while, and we saw bulls defend that level, and we didn't stay below 30,000 for very long, and a nice notable V-shaped recovery. We still really yet to change the 15-minute trend. I guess you could say we had a 15-minute bull flag here, but not a clear pivot point. So at this point, we're a little skeptical at the moment, but we're back over 32,000, and we still have yet to see that weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well. And we're also rejecting at that EMA 26, unable to close above it. So Going to be continuing to watch that weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. The death cross already played out, but again, questioning how much of that downside has been accounted for, and if this is going to be all the downside that we see. Also going to be monitoring the monthly chart. We've got just about 8 days left in this monthly candle, so we want to see us close above EMA 12 here on the monthly, and the 10-month moving average at 33,819 and the 12 EMA at 32,741. So even a close over 34,000 would be extremely bullish. That would be the second month in a row. And if we can end this with a nice lower wick, that will show that bulls are continuing to buy the dip. So moving on to SPY. So SPY has been on a tear the last couple of days. We are just anticipating a daily lower high here compared to the all-time highs. But at this point, I said it in the group today to private members that wouldn't be surprised if SPY just completely V-shaped recovery straight into a new all-time high. That's been the theme for 2021 and 2020. So not ruling that out of the question. You know, we're always going to keep that in the back of our minds because it's happened so many times. But at this point, we're just anticipating a daily lower high and a potential for a tightening range and equilibrium based on the size of this pullback and based on the size of the bounce. So we would potentially see a tightening range like that into the next few days and weeks, but going to keep a close eye on that daily lower high being set. So taking a look at the hourly chart into the end of the day. So we had an hourly bull flag that confirmed, so we're back in an hourly uptrend. And you could say here that we have our new hourly high or low established at 420.08. So as long as we maintain 420.08, bulls are in full control of the S&P 500. So moving on to the dollar real quick, we'll skim through these. So the dollar has been pulling back and starting daily consolidation, but at this point it's a daily bull flag, and we're going to be monitoring the dollar as well to see whether or not the dollar shows further weakness from here. The more weakness in the dollar, the more comfortable we are as asset bulls, especially holding stocks at the moment after that nasty drop that we had and initial ramp up in fear. So IWM bouncing today, tech sector all-time highs and all-time high record daily close. So the tech sector is still in a daily uptrend. We've been saying it for a while now, at least a couple of weeks, that the tech sector has been extremely strong and leading the broader market. And no major red flags here. I know a couple people in our group were asking about SQQQ and hedging with shorting the tech sector essentially through the inverse ETF SQQQ. And not a bad idea, but just keep in mind we're not daily overbought yet. And even on the hourly time frame, we didn't even touch hourly overbought yet as well. But we are going to anticipate a pullback at some point, but I wouldn't necessarily fight these bulls too much. At this point, I would want to see at least an hourly downtrend or a loss of the hourly uptrend. And at this point, there's no major red flags whatsoever. We will anticipate healthy hourly consolidation though, as it has been quite some time. We're going on 8 candles in a row without any daily or hourly consolidation rather. So not a bad hedge right now, especially if you have a lot of long exposure. So for myself, I have a lot of long positions, especially in MJ. So I hedge with SPY and QQQ. So basically the only real way I could see MJ getting slammed is if the broader market, had a massive bear market or correction. So that's how I'm hedging those positions. So SMH, semiconductor, bouncing today, closing to the high, failed to get over EMA 12, but a little bit weaker than QQQ. And moving on, oil. So inside bar today on oil after finishing yesterday with an upper wick, and we got to 73.94. So coming up on that $75 mark, and we do have resistance up at 76.88. So just keep an eye on those levels on oil. In terms of the metals, we have a daily inside bar on silver, and we had an inside bar that broke bullish on gold but pulled back within that range from yesterday, and at this point it's a daily bear flag. So bulls want to continue this daily bounce, hold the low of the day tomorrow. Still got about 38 minutes left. Anything could happen, but look to hold the day tomorrow. That will be imperative to keep that daily bounce underway. So XBI, so actually broke down to a lower low today. So daily consolidation on the biotech sector showing out a bit weaker, and the XLE, the energy sector ETF, bouncing on the day, but again failing to close over EMA 12. XLF, so potential daily bear flag still, but closing that gap there at 35.99. And bulls gonna want to hold the low of the day today as well, coming off daily oversold conditions. As long as we maintain the daily higher lows and the low of the day today holds tomorrow, daily bounce is still underway, and we still got a long ways yet to go until we even test EMA 12. XLV healthcare sector broke the high of yesterday, but then pulled back pretty much right at the high of yesterday. So again, want to hold the low of the day tomorrow to continue that daily bounce. So taking a look at the DDD chart, 3D Systems. So we had a huge move today, up over 30% at one point. So from the low of the day yesterday, we hit 27.27, and the high of the day today, 38.55. So congrats to the bulls. And off that low of the day yesterday, up for over 42% on DDD and massive volume. We also confirmed a weekly uptrend on this move. So we're coming off a weekly downtrend with a lower high and lower low. And then from 17, I have a position that I initiated at $19. So I was up about 100% there at one point on that account, but it's in my TFSA account. So it's a very long-term hold for me as well. And it was a smaller position. I was going to look to add if we got to 15 and maybe even closer to 10, but happy with this position, and obviously 100% gains, can't complain. So again, congrats to the bulls who bought the dip. Huge move off those lows, just like I said, from $17, $19 is about 100%. So from 17, you're looking at about 121%. But daily uptrend confirmed here with a low, high, higher low, and higher high. And it was a weekly bull flag that confirmed as well. And if you want to just draw that out, you can see here that we held that 0.382 fib, and it was a textbook weekly bull flag. We have a lack of resistance up until 56.50. We did pull back a little bit there into the end of the day, but just hitting daily overbought now. So it's entirely possible that we see a gap up and then a flush tomorrow, but also highly probable that we see a daily inside bar and tightening range tomorrow. But going to be watching the hourly chart as well, just like most names. And as soon as we lose the hourly uptrend, or we confirm an hourly downtrend, then we're going to be watching for that daily bounce to be finished and watching for a daily high or low. But at this point, we did break the low slightly here, but it's a 2-hour bull flag. And let's move on to the weekly time frame. So we held that 10-week moving average on that pullback as well. So we had that. Not only were we looking for a weekly trend change, we had the weekly bull flag and the 10-week moving average sitting there around $25. We had the stochastic and the MACD cross bullish as well. And in terms of all the moving averages on the weekly time frame, we didn't even come close to testing any of them. The 50 was the closest, but the 50 weekly was down here at about $15. So we still came within a few dollars away. So extremely strong. And on the daily moving averages, we're above all of those as well. So we have a lack of resistance now. We're above the 20-week moving average. We're above the weekly VWAP. So there's essentially no resistance right now on the DDD chart. We did have some resistance on the daily time frame, but in terms of the weekly, we did have resistance here at 39.67 and 40 psychological. And like I said, we got as high as 38.55 today. But if we can get over that, we've got a lack of resistance up until 56. And going to be extremely interesting to see how we open up tomorrow. Let me know in the comments below, or if you're still holding, or if you took some profit today. Personally, like I said, I think that this stock long term is going to be easily worth a couple of $100s. Again, not buying recommendation or financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, but going to be expecting more upside here. And I do believe that the potential for this stock long term is absolutely massive. So taking a look at the bull and bear list, we had NEO, NEXE, and CWeb. NEXE absolutely getting destroyed the last few weeks and months. And this is a name that, high risk, high reward type of deal. And on the bull list, obviously DDD leading the bull list today, and CLOV followed by GME. Space also up near 10%, MVMD today. So we had that falling wedge that we were looking to break out of, and we topped out at 80-cent resistance, got as high as 79 cents. Mentioned that in my previous video, but we're starting the daily bounce here today. So we're going to be looking for a daily lower high compared to 79 cents. And like I said, likely just a tightening range is what we can anticipate based on the size of this pullback, and likely going to be following the rest of the market as well. All right, that does it for the daily market recap. We'll see you a little bit later on for an MJ sector review. Make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel on your way out, tick the bell to be notified on the future videos, and we'll see you in the next video.